G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's sort of a very different video on YouTube because I'm doing some bird watching here. This is of course my mum's parents' backyard. This is actually the balcony that I'm actually standing through, and it's actually quite lovely. And outside I can hear so many different birds outside here. Don't know if I'm hearing a mixture of actual wild birds or it could be just sound effects really, because somehow it's just so amazing just hearing the sounds of chirping birds right over in the countryside where there's a lot of plants growing right over in the backyard garden, or even the jungle outside. It's just so chronically beautiful to see. I think the last 2 years, I remember coming here, there was supposed to be like a colony of weaver bird nests, Bayer weaver nests, and I think they're all being vaporized. Earlier on I've seen a lot of tree sparrows, a lot of myna birds, Java mynas I call them, and also like, you know, magpie robins. But I'm not seeing that many birds here because I think it's way too hot outside at the moment and I've just farted. But hey, don't worry about me because hey, I'm just producing and I just farted again. One of those stupid videos on YouTube just to see what birds there are. Remembering Malaysia is one of the most mega biodiverse countries on earth. Amazing, isn't it? And I can see, wow, strangely enough I might show you some of the stuff that my mum's mother has been growing. She's been growing a lot of pineapple and papayas. They've actually been doing so fantastic. It's somehow pretty much chronically amazing to see. Again, it's just a beautiful neighbourhood, but to me I don't see that many birds outside because I think the birds are just straightforward sheltering from such extremely hot weather. In fact, the birds might be dying of thirst at this time. It's the afternoon sunshine, it's really cranking hot. Not much bird life going around here. The best times to see actual birds is probably during morning, the early afternoon, and then towards the evening. Oh, we got our first bird. That is a Java myna bird. I've actually got one here. That's just straightforward perched. And they are often confused with common Indian myna birds. It's a beautiful specimen. That's just perched onto the telephone wires and stuff. It's quite a garrulous and noisy looking bird here. I'm just turning the brightness a little bit down. And I've just farted just to show you what it is. And I can see another bird right here that's already perched right over in these areas here. I can see a yellow-vented bulbul, but that's not very clear. Strange enough, somehow I've got a myna bird and the yellow-vented bulbul. And strange enough, it's totally about it. Gone with the crows that we often tend to hear in the urbanized areas of Malaysia. This is rural. Okay, so there's a mixture of towns and villages, but also countryside sort of areas here. You know, it's a bit somehow different. I can see a swift, or is it a swiftlet? I heard people in this country eat the nests of what seems to be edible nest swiftlets and stuff. I think on the background, I think the birds are making such noise in the background. I think that's actually the sound of swallows that are just chirping mad, and they can actually poop on people's cars. That's filthy. But anyways, I can see all kinds of birds, myna birds, yellow-vented bulbuls, and I've just farted again because I might have ate a bit of peanuts because I just went to a local peanut factory somewhere in this part of Malaysia, and that's also sadly where my dad's mother has also been cremated, along with my dad's father. But beyond that, I can't bring so much personal info, otherwise people would probably cry the heck out of it, because hey, it's really sad to hear when people sort of die off. And what's that next bird? Still the same Java myna bird, right tucked in the background here, just standing. I can't quite recall. There's another bird right here. Yellow-vented bulbul, and off goes the myna bird. Just two of these birds. I just don't know what other birds I might be able to spot. There's more mynas. Obviously there's so many Java minor birds right over in the backyard, and this is the sort of habitat that they actually prefer. This is more cultivated areas here. A lot of cultivated type areas often tend to represent birds which are quite very much adapted to, like, you know, small trees, but also like farmland type areas, agricultural areas, or even in this case like areas which are which are already touched by human beings. Which it seems sad because, you know, that's straightforward, totally different to the inner part of the jungle. Like, you know, in the jungle there's a lot of rare species of birds that you just can't quite resist to see, because everywhere in the jungle is quite the rarity. But obviously for, you know, birds that live outside of the jungle and live besides humans, well, it's a totally different story. And I can hear more minor birds chirping in the background, but I just can't quite recall where to find them. And my tablet is starting to cook real hard because it's really hot outside. Maybe there's minor birds roosting on that tree here, but I can't really tell. They're not really everywhere. Everywhere I go, they're straightforward common, but not here. Another amazing fact about this part of Malaysia is that you can actually see the whole jungle in the background, and then you've also got cultivated areas right over in the back. And then looking at the other side here, it's also the same, but looking at it, it's totally very different. And because it's such a really hot and humid day, look at these clouds. They are really starting to bubble really hard. And that might be the part on where it gets, you know, a little bit unsettled, but then it also starts to become the part where rain is on the cards. I don't know when, but it certainly looks like it. There you go, I'm looking at the other side here. Straightforward, quite breezy and stuff. I'd probably guess this area here is filled with lots and lots of sugarcane. And there's another minor bird here. And I can hear some weird noises of bird feet right over on the roof here. I can't really tell what birds am I hearing. Probably pigeon, I can't really tell. Oh well, that's just crazy. I think I've just seen a white pigeon just flying off. It's not a wild one. I think it might be a feral one, domestic one, that's just straightforward flown off away from the town itself. Well, the village, as I like to call it, but it's, of course you can call whatever the heck you want. And strangely enough, it feels straightforward, totally devoid of birds, because, you know, there's just none. All you just see is just cultivated lands with no birds around here. That's just not what I expect. Looking at the other side here, no birds. There you go. Strangely enough, can you see what's going on here? Not much birds you could probably find, but I can see, oh, there's one right here. That was a Java minor bird that was just perching on some weird papaya tree. I think if I look very carefully, I might be able to see the little bugger. And, oh, there's two more. There's two more coming into the wires here. To the telegraph wires, the telephone wires actually. Don't know how you call them properly. They're sitting next to what looks like to be a papaya tree. And strangely enough, that's not that much. And it's stinking hot outside, I tell you, it really is. That time, it really is stinking hot. Yeah, very much so. And I can't really tell, but straightforward is very hard to tell where that bird is. And it's off to somewhere else. Straightforward, I can't really tell where it's, oh, it's gone now. Yeah, not that much in the way of bird life. And just as I was about to end the whole video, I've actually been seeing lots and lots of other birds. I've seen quite a few Asian glossy starlings. I think I just saw just a small flock. Probably about 5, if not 6 birds that were just flying away, I think. So, nothing that's substantially rare to probably find, but that's what life is like. And because it's a developing country, there's just so many trees that are just getting cleared and chopped down real hard. Yeah, that's not really a great aspect to see that much in the way of bird life. There's not that much, sadly. Somehow I feel like there's not that much in the way of other birds, but it's just Java mynas. You know, it's just these little buggers here. They're not native to Malaysia actually, but they are very common. Oh, look what we have. We've gone all the way into a magpie robin. I think that's just hopping away. And we've got tree sparrows. We get a few more avian additions to the whole place. Fairly amazing somehow in so many levels. It's just beyond amazing. And we've got the minor bird. That's just straightforward right here. And it looks like it's just on the ground. That's just straightforward coming for a bit of a feed. And it looks like it's just straightforward cornering just a bit. Going up towards that section here, of course. And it looks like he's gone. Now the one biggest troublesome factor is that if you build so much human infrastructure, or simply if you want to make money and stuff, well then here's the con. You're just straightforward building structures to destroy wildlife. But not only that, but what's very much the saddest aspect is, apart from destroying wildlife, you're also straightforward allowing various different factors like, you know, well, there's so many birds. I think we've got minor birds, we've got magpie robins, sparrows of course, and yellow-vented bulbuls. That's another bird I can really mention. A lot of birds are just straightforward chirping away, but oh, that's amazing somehow. Of course, if you cut down so much rainforest here, well then not only are you going to suffer, but then you're also going to be straightforward putting animals into the brink of extinction. That's one thing I can tell you. And not only that, well, the positive aspects about it is that you'll be making money. And you'll be straightforward making good resources with that type of thing, which is really, of course, wrong, but it has to be done somehow to earn a living. And the yellow-vented bulbul is just flown to the other side of my neighbourhood. Yeah, birds in Malaysia, come to the jungle if you want to see much more glorifying looking species. Yeah, not that much in the great way. There's not that much in the sort of, you know, sort of a very elusive sort of nature, you know. Obviously, it's just like, you know, you're in a very humid savanna type climate. Even though the word savanna refers to, like, you know, the plains of Africa. Anyways, we've got swifts actually. And actually there was just a pair of swifts that were already just flown away. So, not much I could really write home about it. Well, I am at home, but it looks like I'm at a totally different place. Don't know how good or bad am I genuinely speaking here, but it somehow feels totally and utterly different. And strangely enough, I can't see any other birds yet. Oh, looks like I can actually see one here. What is that bird? Right on that tree there, what is that? I need to go ahead and turn the brightness on. I think, by the looks of it, I think we're dealing with some sort of starling. An Asian glossy starling. Or it could be a kingfisher. I have no idea what that bird is. Because I think it's the posture that's just straightforward catching my eye here. And it's straightforward sitting on the tree here. If I zoom in very closely, there's only just one bird here. That's just straightforward perch. I can't really tell if it's a starling or is it maybe a kingfisher, because I can see the upright posture of that bird here. Could be something else, I can't really tell. But I feel very proud of it. It's just straightforward perching right over in that section here. And not that much. Somehow it's straightforward on a tree, and there's another bird that's also flying next to it, and it's just landed. Straightforward is quite, an amazing place to spot, just to see whatever birds there are. Oh man, I can't really tell, but I'm straightforward filming that one other bird right here. I've got no idea what that bird is. Pretty sure it could be an Asian glossy starling or a white-throated kingfisher. Probably two of the overly common type birds here. Not really great in English because I'm straightforward influenced by a bit of Malaysian. Sort of a background, of course. Chinese Malaysian actually. And strangely enough, I can't see that much in the way of birds, but strangely enough, all I'm seeing is much in the way of instability. Yes, it is an Asian glossy starling that's chirping on the background. There you go. We've finally identified a little bugger here. And it's straightforward, very colourful, but it's mainly iridescent. And yeah, not that much. Not that much in the way of birds indeed. Man, it's just chronically sad that, there's not much I could really see. How difficult was that? And I'm just going to really have some more looks. Okay, it seems like we've got the Asian glossy starling tucked bright in the background. Of course, I will just turn the brightness a little bit on so that you can see it. And actually, yes, this balcony that I'm standing here is not that hygienic, so I'm off to have a very nice, clean looking shower time routine. But strangely enough, the Asian glossy starling is gone. Yeah, there's not that much in the way of species. A little bit disheartening when you think about the number of bird species in such declining sort of rates, because given of how much humanity has been straightforward on the cards, that's really hard to straightforward beat the confrontation. And there's another minor bird here. And there's two. There you go, they really do love living in pairs. In urban areas, they seem to frequently chirp a lot, and they're very noisy little buggers. And amazingly, with minor birds, you just can't go wrong with them. I think these guys can talk, so you can just train them to talk wherever you like. Everywhere in urbanized areas, I'll just train them to be quiet. There's one right here. Don't think I filmed it very properly somehow by the look of it. It looks like one has decided to go underneath this patch of trees right here. And this one is just straightforward whining. And clearly, it's actually straightforward on the lookout for other miners. Oh, well, it looks like it's just flown away. And strangely enough, that minor bird right here is still waiting here. Can you believe that? It's still straightforward on the lookout. I can see another swift, and the two miners, they have just straightforward disappeared. Not that much you could really see, but hey, all they're just trying to look for is food. And clearly, it's not that great if you want to make a good wildlife oasis. Yeah, it's not that great. Lots of minor bird action, but no other birds. I'm afraid you just can't see it. Oh wait, there actually is a minor bird right here. Whoa, how stupid was I? There you go, there's a lot of minor bird activity right here. There's just so much of it. Lots of minors. And who knows, that one might straightforward bugger off here. There's just so many of them. And, oh look, there's one on the ground here. Totally one on the ground here, and it's straightforward waddling. About to get its next delicacy. it's next lunch. And maybe for the next dinner, for the next dinner time, they're going to be straightforward going like this. Just kidding, they won't. And there's a stray dog right here. These things can bite, but it's probably because, one, they see me as some weird stranger, and two, they might be respective to their owners. That's what I'm probably thinking about. There's a lot of stray dogs next towards the birds here. They don't really see the birds as a nuisance at all times, because hey, they really do supplement. What they really like is human food. That's what they really feed for. Human food. And because humans have lived alongside with dogs for a long time, that's why they seemingly chuck all the food away. Okay, we've got a magpie robin that's actually on the background right here. Can I see it? Yes, I can see the little creep. There he is. He's actually straightforward on the tree right there. Remembering Malaysian wildlife may seem common when you see birds like this, but on the whole, it's straightforward rarer than what you might expect. There you go. Magpie robins. Oh, it's just flown off. I think that was a male. That was a male bird. And strangely enough, we've actually got random birds. I think these were yellow-vented bulbuls flying in the very background, and then we've also got tree sparrows flying next to where the dog is, and there's actually quite a few of them in the tin roofs and stuff. There's another stray dog that's actually inside here, and maybe that could be, I don't know, one or two dogs. Crikeys, there's just so many of them right over here, and they're actually flying next to the stray dog. There you go, the tree sparrows. They're just coming in for some food. You see, these birds really do interbreed with, you know, there's another magpie robin here, eh? A lot of tree sparrows, look at that. They're straightforward invading this area here. There you go, there's so many, look at that. There you go. There's actually even more tree sparrows in Malaysia than it is in the UK, look at that. You know, they're actually straightforward more common than what I've actually expected. Look at that, eh? Look at this, that's a huge gathering of tree sparrows. That's just a lot, look at that. Just as many birds, that is just freakish as hell. Well, just beautiful actually, just a swarm of them. They're just going wild like mad. You know, I might as well have a look at the other side here as well. That's a much better view of the sparrows, and look how many there are. There's actually about a dozen of tree sparrows. Look how they're just feeding. They're just feeding on, I don't know, seeds and other grains, possibly rice and other whatnot. Whoa, there's a bit of a bird fight. That's not very good to see. That's pretty bad. Mind you, the stray dogs don't find that as a significant problem. They just find it as something that is very therapeutic. There's more stray dogs action going on here. There's actually about, there's one on the background here. But look at the sparrows. They are just straightforward. Time after time after time again. Oh, look at that. One of them is doing a little dust bath because it's just been really hot outside. Here you go. The number is straight. Whoa, another bird fight. Lots and lots of tree sparrows. They're just clattering around. Probably about the 20, possibly 25, 27, probably under 30 of these birds. They're just ganging up like mad. Look at that. They're all just coming for a feed. And this number of sparrows just completely skyrockets so much. It's just chronically random. Whoa, look at that, eh? Well, what was that? Could be some weird predator, could be one of the lizards. Mind you, the dogs aren't that bothered yet, and we've got a couple of minor birds. There's two of them here, and they're waiting. Oh, they're very brutish. Kind of like the crows, they are straightforward. more aggressive than the sparrows. Oh, look at them, they're doing a little dust bath, and look how they're just coming back. Oh, there's another one. And the mynas, they're just straightforward. Oh, look at them, they just look like a pair of mafia gang thugs, whatever we're going to call them. And the sparrows have finally got their piece, yet they've been raided by the myna birds. It's just amazing somehow seeing. And the stray dog is finally awake. Straightforward, that dog is straightforward, lying so far that, the birds just don't find him as a threat. Amazing. Maybe the two stray dogs actually know each other. Noticing I'm not really that much of a person who actually comes here that often, that much. So many birds. Fantastic to see. It's quite interesting when you just watch these birds. It's kind of like, watching little tiny, maybe big bugs. Looking at the way of how they just move is just chronically amazing. One of them is doing like another dust bath type thing. They're just cooling themselves off because of just how hot it is. Maybe it'll be better off if I just, give them like a nice bowl of water to give the dogs a nice drink. Or somehow something else. Completely and utterly hot to hear. Or to feel that way. And looking at just how hot it is outside, let me just show you what's going on here. It looks like the clouds are just straightforward going crazy. I think there's a lot of convective activity here. I can also see a carpenter bee that's also straightforward in one of the trees, but it's just straightforward buzzing. Not sure if you can see the little carpenter bee doing its little hard work here, straightforward in that tree here. I've got no idea what specimen that is. It's quite a nice area. It's a nice little neighbourhood here, but because this is very much more to do with countryside type areas, it's more like open plains with like, cultivation and whatnot. There's not much birds. And look at the sparrow activity. They've actually just started thinning out. Not that much you could really see here, but hey, that was one heck of a nature spot. Well, bit of an urban nature spot if you ask me. Because if it's more natural, you just have to go wild. That's all I could really suspect at this point. They don't look that wild to me, these sparrows. They look straightforward, genuine, very human influenced. And I think if you're very lucky, right over in these tall, well, let's just say, I don't know what to really say here. And maybe if you're very lucky, you might be able to see multiples of different birds of prey. I think I've just seen an eagle just before making this video. I think it was around noon, I guess. And strangely enough, look what's actually on the background here. There's actually something that you might have genuinely missed. That thing there may look like a good sort of warehouse box thing, but that is actually a little box. And you know what that box is used for? Something for birds. And I can actually see some more. Oh my goodness me, there's a pair of yellow-vented bulbuls. There's one here, straightforward on the further background end, and amazingly, somehow if I have a look at this section right here, putting it this way, like so, that's actually an edible nest swiftlet box, and that's where we get our bird nest soup from. Very much so. Yeah, where I'm actually filming in, it's not that actually great. There's not that many rare birds you could probably find here, Oh! What was that? I think something yellow was there. I think that was I probably presume it was a black-naped oriole, because I think I just saw its yellow colour. I'm going to have to go to the other side just to see the little bugger right here. But I can't really see it. I can see the little yellow thing at the distance, but not that very clearly. I think I just saw it moving, but it's not a great setting here. And I think I can hear some zebra doves. right outside of my neighbourhood here. Strangely enough, there's all kinds of different birds that was on here. That was a nice find, a black-naped oriole. Quite a common visitor. And look who's just turned up again. The Javan white-vented myna bird. Straightforward, on the move, looking for food. Very much so. It's actually quite really hot in this balcony here because it's, you know, there's no cooling devices here. The only cooling device I can really relate to is the wind. Straightforward of such. And there's a lot of litter right here. It's very ugly seeing that, but that's just part of the way developing countries are like. And right over here in the cultivated lands, somewhere in one of the little plants, I can actually see a myna bird. That's already straightforward singing. And it's straightforward somehow singing. I can't really tell, but there's a myna bird somewhere around this part of where I live. Well, I'm actually currently at the moment. Please give this video a good like, subscribe for more for videos in the future, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.